chapter 5, Soldiers of Defense. Today we shall learn about various systems of medicine. So children, in this chapter, we already discussed about immunity. So what is immunity? Immunity is the ability of our body to fight against diseases. And we all know about immunity. But if we are affected with a disease, normally we will not wait for the immunity to act upon that particular disease. But normally we will go for taking medicines, isn't it? In our busy schedule of life, normally people will not wait for the body immunity to respond to that particular disease. But suddenly we will go to take medicine. And we know about the different systems or various systems of medicine. Which are the various systems of medicine? We are familiar with Ayurveda, then homeopathy, Unani, allopathy, neuropathy. We are familiar with all such various systems of medicine. The various systems of medicine evolve in different parts of the world. It is in accordance with the lifestyle of people and the culture of that particular area, and also based on the availability of natural resources. So a particular treatment method in a particular area evolve after a long period of time on the basis of experiences and also on the basis of observation. Okay, now we shall discuss the details of the different methods of treatment.
Ayurveda is a system of treatment which prevailed in India from ancient times. Ayurveda gains acceptance as a lifestyle to maintain the body fit. Allopathy. It is a cosmopolitan medical practice widely used all over the world. The branch of medicine was introduced by the ancient Greek physician Hippocrates. Then Unani. Unani is a treatment which is based on some principles put forward by Hippocrates. The diagnosis of a disease is done by checking the pulse. Then homeopathy. The main principle behind homeopathy is that the causative factor of the disease can itself affect the cure.
Okay, now we shall familiarize with some equipments which is used for diagnosis, and also we shall learn its use.
Stethoscope. It is an equipment which is used for measuring heartbeat. Sphygmomanometer. It is an equipment which is used for measuring blood pressure. Thermometer. It is a device used to check the body temperature. Several such devices are there for the diagnosis of various diseases, which include EEG, ECG, ultrasound scanner, CT scanner, MRI scanner, etc.
Okay, now we shall discuss about laboratory tests. So we all know that for the diagnosis of some diseases, laboratory test is required. It is required to test our blood, urine, etc. to diagnose the disease. So in such situation, do you know what all things are testing from blood and what all things are testing from urine? So now we shall find out what all things are checking out while testing our blood. So if we give our blood in a laboratory for testing, they will check the different factors which are present in our blood. We already studied about the factors which are present in our blood. Which are the factors that are present in our blood? Yes, that is hemoglobin, So which are the different factors that are present in our blood? Hemoglobin, then WBC, that is white blood cells, then RBC, that is red blood cells, and platelets. So these are the different factors that are present in our blood. And when we give our blood for a test, they will check the count of the different factors that are present in our blood. So first we shall see what is the normal count or what is the normal level of each of these factors in our blood. First we shall see about hemoglobin. So the normal level of hemoglobin. Normal level. So the normal level of hemoglobin in our blood 12 to 17 gram per 100 ml of blood. And the normal level of WBC in our blood should be from 5000 to 10,000 per ml of blood. And the normal level of RBC should be from 45 lakhs to 60 lakhs per ml of blood. And finally, the normal level of platelets should be from 2.5 lakhs to 3.5 lakhs per ml of blood. So here you can see the normal level or the normal value of each of the component in our blood. So the first one is hemoglobin. The normal level of hemoglobin should be from 12 to 17 gram per 100 ml of blood. Then the normal level of WBC is 5000 to 10,000 per milliliter of blood. Then RBC, it is about 45 lakhs to 60 lakhs per ml of blood. Then platelets, it is about 2.5 lakhs to 3.5 lakhs per ml of blood. So this is the normal level of each of the factors that are present in our blood. So the value that varying from the normal level of all these factors can be able to identify or can be able to diagnose the presence of some particular diseases. For example, if the count of WBC is more in number, then we can say that there are some pathogens present inside our blood. So because of the presence of that pathogens, the WBC is more in number. And also one another example is that if the count of hemoglobin is very less, we can find that that particular person will be having anemia. Finally, we shall learn about some specializations in medical field. So we know that nowadays there is a rapid growth in medical field. It's only because of the advancement in technology, then advancement in researchers and also in science. So based on that advancements, we can see several new specializations had emerged in our medical field. So now we shall familiarize with some of the specializations in medical field. So here is the list of some specializations in medical field: cardiology, ophthalmology, neurology, chemotherapy, ENT, etc. So cardiology is the specialization on the treatment of heart. Then ophthalmology, it is the specialization in the treatment of eye. Then it is neurology. It is related with the treatment of disorders associated with nervous system. Then it is chemotherapy. We all know that it is a specialization of the treatment of cancer. And ENT. ENT means it is a specialization on the treatment of ear, nose and throat disorders.